What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Sit Down Saturday. Today we're going to talk about the DX9 stuff a little bit. We're also going to talk about some house cleaning stuff. But first and foremost, before any of that stuff, I hope that you had a Merry Christmas, that you had a good time with family or friends or the cat or whatever it is. I'm doing this the 23rd, so forgive me if it's not the most in-depth. I got a lot going on, and then I have a ton of videos next week that are all top 5 oriented. You're probably going to get tired of them. But I don't know how else to kind of categorize everything, so let me explain what's coming. I have a top 5, bottom 5 non-transforming figures list. And when I say non-transforming, let me go ahead and over-specify non-transformers, period. I have a top 5, bottom 5 Transformers list. This encompasses all the Transformers I've looked at over the year. And then I have a top 5, bottom 5 figures I've bought, period, because the first two lists don't necessarily account for the things that I bought. Because objectively, I might be able to say, well, look, you know, Studio Cell is better than this, and I didn't buy Studio Cell, so it knocks off something on my list. So I want to do something, and mine will be a mix of Transformers, and I have everything I bought. And then probably I'll do Force Friday on a top 5, bottom 5 Star Wars collectibles. So there's a lot coming next week to bring in the new year, and then we'll kind of get off to the races of a new year. I still have that Toy World conversation coming. However, I usually do the first Sit Down Saturday of the year. I usually do about the wish list for the year of what I hope to see, so I'll probably get started there first. Let's move on to a little bit tiny itty bitty teeny weeny bit of house cleaning. Last week's Sit Down Saturday, in regards to the trailer, there were a number of people that made the comment, well, you know, the cost is the cost and it is what it is, and if you don't like it, you don't like it. Yeah, I mean, that's all true. But like, I can't, that's not a discussion, right? So it's like, I'm not gonna come on here and be like, the cost is the cost. And then, like, this is to generate some sort of discussion, to get some ideas going. It's not a declaration that I'm right and you're wrong or vice versa. It's just like, all right, let's talk. This is something going on. Let's talk about it. But there were a number of, I mean, there was a lot of angry people in those comments, and I get it. The one thing I didn't mention that I wish I would have is that, do I think at all about funding this just to get my Defensor made? Because I do worry about that a bit. Anyway, and then we can move on to the DJD. Everybody seemed to like it, so I'm going to do more of those here and there. I have a Scavengers one that I want to do, the Wreckers one probably, you know, but try to think of some other ones and, you know, do that every once in a while, especially when it's light. We're going into Chinese New Year, so things have a tendency to get light. Then there was the awards show, and some people got a little, I mean, obviously anytime I do something like that, people always feel a way about why their thing wasn't on the list, right? Or why their thing didn't win. And the truth is, it's just my opinion. The awards is just my, I mean, very similarly to like how the Grammys or anything does it, it's just their opinion. It doesn't mean that so-and-so had the best record of the year or whatever. It just means that these 5 people think that they did. And the other thing I'd like to add on to that is just take note of the categories, right? So like, there was somebody, good dude, in the comments who was talking about Flames Toys Prime being better than 3A's Prime, and I agree with him 100%. I agree with him 100%. I'm just not sure it's painted as well as the Grasser, and I'm not sure it's sculpted as well as the 3A. However, as a toy overall, I think that the Flames Toys Prime is better than both. Does that make sense? So just, you know, keeping a balanced, level head about it all, really. There was a number of people that were concerned about the choice for DX9. I'm going to try to get into that a bit more in this video as to better explain myself, but we will get there. And we can pretty much transition right in there. Forgive me if I'm rushing. I got a lot to do today. I mean, not Russian, but rushing. I have a lot to do today and over the next couple days. My birthday's on Sunday, so big 40. Lordy, lordy, look who's 40, you know what I mean? So it's just a busy couple of days. I don't know if the list videos are gonna make it on Monday. They might be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But let's transition into this DX9 conversation, right? So let me start a little bit by this. DX9 was not the first company that we heard that was mixed up with all of this, right? Unique Toys was the first company that we heard was mixed up in this third-party game, as it were. They had the Predacons that they did a couple other things, and then all of a sudden, DX9 starts being mentioned alongside. So it was even confusing at first between their Wreck-Ar and their Psykill as to whether or not it was a DX9 product or a Unique Toys product. It was actually confusing branding-wise. And what it kind of ended up being, or at least being referred to as or known as, and I'm not sure if any of this is right. I want to go out and say that this is a lot of theory, this is a lot of me watching from the sidelines. Everybody, whenever I talk about these two companies, I get a lot of comments in the comment section about how I'm wrong about something, that this is the way it is, but I've never seen any proof of those theories. So I tend to think that a lot of this is just based on theory regarding these two companies. But the way that I understood it was that DX9 was the design team and that Unique Toys was the company. So when Unique Toys in-house design team, which was DX9, produced something, it came out under the DX9 banner. However, when Unique Toys contracted something out, it would come out under the Unique Toys banner. So that's why you get like movie stuff, for instance, under Unique Toys, but you get kind of similar looking things with DX9. Now, I also know that DX9 has put out some stuff under contracted designers as well, but I think that was Legends stuff. I digress. But let's talk about Legends for a second. DX9 started producing Legends, and then New Age popped up using DX9's artwork, using DX9's figures as size comparisons, and adapting to DX9's scale, which we've already talked about here. So the general thought was that New Age is also DX9. So the question there is New Age another company owned by Unique Toys, or is New Age the Legends branch of the design team of DX9 now, or were different designers being used for DX9's Legends, but now the DX9 team is designing their own Legends as New Age? So there's a lot of variables and a lot of questions there. But it's always been my understanding that DX9 was the design team, Unique Toys was the company, and Unique Toys was the one who ultimately owned the factory. And they are one of the few companies that own their own factory. Now, over the past year, we've heard troubling things about Unique Toys. We've heard that they were in trouble. We heard that they were throwing in the towel. We saw their Prime and some KO getting locked up video, and people jumped to the gun about that. That ended up not being the case, right? But we have heard that they're over. But I can't find any evidence to really substantiate that. Now, maybe what we've heard as a result of that has to do with the rumors that are just now coming to light with DX9. So, let's get to their post. The post, right? And in their post, it basically says they are going to close their business. If you have any issues with the product, please contact the manufacturer direct, which kind of goes to my theory that who they're talking about is ultimately Unique Toys, not DX9. They're asking you to contact the manufacturer, Unique Toys, that owns the factory, not them who are the design team. Our social medias will be suspended for a while until further announcement for new business. If you're interested about their status, you can continue to follow their account. But they also say, and this is once again translated, that they've come to tell everyone that their team has actually left for a long time and has not received labor income. They thank everyone for the past 6 years and for the feedback, and in the future there will be new development directions and renames, meaning rebranding. So I would imagine that New Age will still continue, and I would imagine that they are going to heavily focus on New Age if that is them. If not, we're going to see a new Legends company pop up that's as good as New Age. So that will undoubtedly settle that situation. But the situation that I want to talk about in regard to them not being paid, if we're to even understand what is being said translation-wise, right? Which is why I gave them Company of the Year, because I ultimately think that they are a design team for Unique Toys. I want to make sure I drill that home. What have they produced aside from New Age, which they aren't really producing if we're to believe that they're using the Unique Toys factory? So we're left with Capone, Capone, Dead End, and Dragstrip. My Dragstrip should be here any day, by the way. So, 3 figures. If we look at a lot of their contemporaries, they're producing figures hand over fist. So my question was, why did this slow down? Why were they moving at such a snail's pace, especially if they had access to the factory? And when you play money, I should have thought that they might not be getting paid properly, because money is the #1 motivator, right? So if they're not getting paid, then they're not going to be anxious to get the thing done. And if this is all symptoms of a disease that we're seeing with figures being released late and such, they really didn't have to do this at all. But this also does play into the rumors that we've been hearing about Unique Toys possibly having issues. The question is whether or not they're having issues because of DX9, or whether or not they're having issues independently, and subsequently that's causing problems for DX9. That's the question, which ultimately I can't answer. So we have Unique Toys, then we have DX9 come out as a design crew, but they get rebranded so that now Unique Toys and DX9 are separate entities. Then we have DX9 Legends, which I think was designed by somebody else. That goes away, and in place of it, we get the New Age Legends to encompass their designs, as far as I can tell, meaning 3 brands underneath one flag. Unique Toys has been peddling around with movie stuff and everything else, with interesting information and rumors circulating around that as well, but it may have also brought a ton of heat on them. DX9 sort of sticks to the program. They're doing G1 stuff. New Age is doing G1 Legend stuff. We hit this Stunticon fiasco. We got 3 companies competing for the same collector pocket, theoretically. Issues start to arise. On the other hand, we have Unique Toys movie stuff, perhaps bringing them into some hot water or at least putting a magnifying glass on them. Issues start to arise. Now we say that DX9 is coming out and saying, look, we're not getting paid. We're finishing off the Stunticons. It's been real. It's been fun. Sometimes it's been boring. Sometimes it's been broke, but farewell. That's the story. As far as I can tell, with me trying to fill in the gaps where it seems to make sense to me. That's my thoughts on it. Don't know if I'm right. Don't know if I'm wrong. Just my opinion on it. I feel like I'm a little irritated. I got some bad news today, and I think it's pissed me off. And I might be taking some of it out on the camera unfairly. Anyway, the question is, what is the future? So, the Stunticons are done, and I would guess that what all that means is that you're going to see new names, new brands. If New Age continues as a name and a brand with the same quality, then we know that New Age and DX9 are a little bit more separated than we thought. If New Age continues, but there's a difference, then we know what time it is there as well. If we see a new third-party Legends company pop up, and the quality is there, comparable with New Age, then we know what time it is. And if we see a company pop up, because DX9 has a pretty specific aesthetic. You can't always tell it's them, but you can often tell it's them. They like a lanky bot. Their Junkions were lanky, the Stunticons are lanky, Blitzwing is even a little bit lanky compared to his competitors. They just tend to have that style. They're an artist, right? And you can tell an artist's style if you look close enough. So we should be able to tell there. If we never see it again, then that means that they're out. And I would expect for the price to go up because now they're not using a home team factory, would be my guess. But like I said, just a guess. Please enjoy the weekend with your families. Hope you guys are staying safe. Hope you guys are staying sane. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time.